I found a pretty good business model. Wow, that is Airbnb co-hosting. I'm going to talk about that, but I'm I've found an even better business model, and I'm going to talk that as well. I'm going to talk about that as well. So there's eight pillars of being an Airbnb co-host, right? Let's talk about them. Maintenance and repairs, um, pretty obvious stuff, right? Marketing and outreach, marketing your business in order to get properties that you can co-host. Compliance and legal, so complying with the any Airbnb laws in your area, any what else is there? Just laws in general, business laws, etc. Then we've got operational management, so having VAs, virtual assistants. I've got two virtual assistants in the Philippines, working full time. We've got cleaning companies. We've got contractors like our runner and cleaner, kind of like a cleaner dedicated to a particular area. And then there's like the interactions between all of them and making sure everyone is happy or as happy as within our control. Then you've got guest communications. Guests are like, sometimes they're like babies. Sometimes they're like a good baby that doesn't cry, and sometimes they're like a bad baby that cries a lot. Um, and then you've got financial management. You got to make sure that you're making enough. For example, if you're in a seasonal location, you've got to make sure you're making enough in the peak season and not blowing all your money before winter. You've got to make sure that you're managing your finances in the winter as well, like because if you've got too many staff, then you really need to manage your finances, because when you go through winter, you need to plan for that, because your expenses might exceed your profits, your turnover. Your you might start making a loss, basically. So there's all these things that you need to think about. Then there's like managing cleaners and managing turnovers, making sure the place is prepared properly, making sure the cleaner did a good job, not a 3-star job. And then you've got pricing, which is making sure that you're priced correctly compared to the market. So some students have found all of this overwhelming. And I only just discovered this other business model, which is a B&B pricing agency, right? So basically it strips everything back. You're not taking on risk by managing a property, by renting a property from an owner to do rental arbitrage. You're not giving an owner any guaranteed amount. You're not being an Airbnb co-host. You're not having to manage all of that stuff that I just showed you. But basically all you have to do is outreach, maybe marketing, but mostly just outreach, and convince people that you are better than pricing than them. And then you take 5 to 10%, depending on the size of the place. I recommend focusing on luxury properties. And once you get good at this, it's like 5 minutes a week per property. So the maths get really good when you calculate per hour. So an average place in the developed world is $1,500 a week, which is how much per month? 4.26, 6,400 per month in total payouts from Airbnb bookings, right? And if you are controlling those prices and getting 10%, you're making $640 a month on the low end, right? From just doing pricing. And how many minutes is that? That's 20. For me, it takes around 20 minutes per month per property. For you, maybe it would take 40 to 60 minutes per month per property. So you're spending around 1 hour and you're getting 639, and this is US dollars. Actually, Yeah, let's do it on US dollars on a reasonable property in the city center. But even if it's half of this, right, you're still getting 320 per hour per property. So obviously you're going to have to get many properties to start earning 3K a month, for example. But it's really not overwhelming at all. You're focusing on pricing only. It's a very achievable skill. It's very logical. You just use a bit of common sense and a bit of lessons from me, or if you can go and learn yourself. But the whole thing is you need to be better than these hosts, and starting as a beginner, you need training to become better. You're not just going to go in there and be better than a host that someone knows what they're doing, right? And yeah, obviously financial management, because it's still a business. But at the end of the day, you're a one-person business. You control the pricing. You do the outreach, or you can even outsource that if you want. And you do the marketing, and that's it. So if you want to learn a couple of basic pricing tips just to see what this is like, and a little bit more about this business model, I've got a link in the description of this video where you can join my school community. It's a free community, and there's a bunch of people doing this business model and this one, and Airbnb rental arbitrage as well. So hope you liked the video. Let me know if you've got any questions or suggestions on other videos below.